we've got a bit of a special workshop today because we're just focusing on one ingredient, which is tofu. It's National Tofu Month. We're starting to see more tofu on school menus, but we know that there's lots of uncertainty around using tofu. So we want to kind of dispel all the myths and show you what a great ingredient it is. So yeah, we'll kick off just with a bit of an introduction to ProVeg. So for those of you that haven't joined us before, we are ProVeg UK and we're part of ProVeg International. So we have 11 teams across 4 continents. The little orange blobs that you can see are the UK, Germany and Poland, where we run school food programs, all very different, but yeah, really interesting. And we're all trying to get more plant-based food into schools. And our mission at ProVeg is to replace 50% of animal products globally with plant-based and cultivated foods by 2040. So simply put, we call it 50 by 40. So it's about reducing, not trying to make menus vegan, but just to make great plant-based choices on there. And our aims in the UK with our programme School Plates are to make school food firstly healthier and secondly more sustainable. So by that we mean more planet friendly. We want to reduce the CO2 emissions. We also find that the programme can save a lot of our partners money because the ingredients are often cheaper, and it's also more inclusive. So if you have special diets or children with different faiths or allergies, you can it's much more inclusive to serve a plant-based dish. A lot more children can often eat that dish. So just to touch on a few of those things that I've just mentioned, so cost, nutrition, and being planet friendly. So we just compare a spaghetti bolognese traditional with beef mince versus exactly the same recipe but a plant-based version. So we've swapped out the mince for lentils and soya protein, and you can see the plant-based version is 27% cheaper, 87% lower in saturated fat. It's got more than double the all-important fiber that we're lacking and less than a third of the emissions. And we always make the point that you've got almost identical levels of protein, because that's something we do get asked about. Don't worry about being lacking in protein. It won't happen. And all of our recipes are perfectly balanced to make sure that children get all the kind of nutrients that they need. So just a little bit about who we work with, because yeah, we work with lots of schools, multi-academy trusts, and councils all over the UK. So this was us when we began the programme. We had one council that we worked with, but today it's quite a different story. And the map looks something like this. So it's now just over a quarter of all of the local authorities in the UK that work on school food we have either worked with, are working with, or are talking to about working with. So the demand is really increasing, and it's great that you're here today because this is the way things are moving. So yeah, you'll be ahead of the curve, hopefully. This is just a little bit about what we offer. So again, if you haven't seen these resources that we have, please do go onto our website, proveg.com, and you can download our 35 plant-based recipes specifically designed for school children, and our guide to the program, which just kind of tells you all it's about. Yeah, and we'll be bringing out another 35 new recipes at the beginning of next year. So this, this is just to show you, this is a real menu from one of our partners that's doing really, really well. So that's what we're here to help you with, is improving your menus, playing with the language, adding symbols, taking out words like vegan and vegetarian, just making that menu really attractive, pushing some of these options, the plant-based options, to the top where they'll get chosen more frequently. But that's what a great menu looks like, just to show you. And from that, if you send your menus into us, if you haven't done already, we can actually go through them and give you feedback on what you're doing already that's good and what could be improved. And you could win one of our School Plates awards. So we have bronze, silver and gold. Again, we have a handbook all about this on our website. Do just go on and download that. And yeah, the awards, that we're giving them out thick and fast at the moment. So we'd love you to have one too. And then the final kind of key thing that we do is our workshop. So obviously you're here today We also run in-person workshops. These are particularly for local authority partners, anywhere where we can get lots of people together, lots of schools together and have more impact. But this one, the photo I'm showing you, is actually from Hackney Council, that we ran in the summer. And again, this was lots of individual schools who came together to, that were interested in doing this. So it's a new way, first time we've done it like this, and not for a specific council caterer. So again, if this applies to you, do get in touch, and we would love to come out to you and run one of our workshops. So that's a little bit about us, why we do what we do and how we do it, and we will get to the recipes. So we've got 4 great new recipes. We've got our tofu tikka curry. We've got crispy tacos with shredded tofu. Never tried shredded tofu, so this will be great, with refried beans. We've got amazing egg style mayo rolls. If you've never had tofu egg style, you're in for a treat. And we've got chocolate orange pots. Again, all of these are ingredients completely based around tofu. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to our wonderful new chef, Polly, who's going to introduce herself and just talk you through what we're doing today.
Hello everyone, thank you for the introduction, Colette. Yes, I'm Polly and I'm the new chef trainer for School Plates. I'm going to be running the online workshops and also the in-person training, like Colette just mentioned, where we come into schools and work with the catering staff to train you up on plant-based cookery and our recipes. I also work for School Plates as the programme coordinator for Scotland and Northern Ireland, and it's my job again to get local authorities engaged with our programme. I have a background as a chef. I've worked in restaurants and hospitality for many years, and so yeah, I'm just really passionate about feeding people good, delicious food, and then with school food, what an incredible opportunity it is to work on School Plates and help children eat healthier and more sustainable food simply by increasing the vegetables, the fruit, the seeds, the legumes, the beans, all of these good ingredients. And that really is the focus. They're the building blocks of all our recipes. I also am a mother of 2 small children, a 6-year-old who's at primary school and a 3-year-old who's at nursery. And I want them to grow up eating mostly plant-based diet as being the focus of their diet. And so I'm also really familiar with the sometimes kind of challenging circumstances around getting children to try new ingredients and try vegetables and things that might not be familiar with. And I'm really passionate about making that a really positive experience. So as Colette said, today we are focusing on all things tofu, and I've got laid out here in bowls blocks of the tofu, four pieces which are going to be transformed over this hour into delicious, colourful, vibrant dishes that we feel are perfect for school lunch. I've tried and tested them out on my own family, and they've all been given the seal of approval, 10 out of 10 and more actually from my children. They really enjoyed them. So again, that for me was a good signal that these worked really, really well. So I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about tofu, because as Colette said, it's an ingredient we don't really see on school menus that often, and generally in the UK, although it is definitely increasing in popularity, it's not an ingredient that kind of has been in our kind of food culture for a very long time. So tofu is made from soya beans. And I kind of think of the process a little bit like cheese making. Basically, we take the soya beans and we make soya milk. and then we take the milk and run it through, heat it up, cause the milk to split into the curds and the whey, and then we take the curd and we strain off the liquid, and then we're left with these kind of they're pressed into bars basically, and you get different types. This is the kind of the firmer type, and that basically means that it's had lots of the water removed from it, so you've just kind of got a really solid chunk of the curd. And then we've also got here, I'll bring it really close, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's the silken tofu, which basically has a much softer consistency, really kind of almost jelly, well, silky like, and that is has a higher water content. So that's just a little introduction to the ingredient. As Colette said, please ask questions as we go, and we'll try to answer them. And yeah, that really kind of feeds into the whole learning experience. It's obviously a real privilege to be here today with so many of you with so much experience. I'm gonna now, I think we're gonna kick off with one of our poll questions, just to kind of get a little bit of feedback from you. So yeah, here's our first poll question.
Perfect. Yeah. So do you use tofu? Yes or no? And then if not, why not? And tick us, or you can just tick one apparently. Yeah, and we'll show up the results in a second. So just waiting for the results, Polly, and then we'll be away. Okay, so 100% don't use tofu. So hopefully that may change after today. If not, so 50%. Oh, hang on, let me have a look. 50% say other. Please share comments in the Q&A. That would be great. If you've answered other, please do pop in why that is. 25% don't think children will eat it. 25% don't know how to prepare it. Nobody said that they don't like the taste. So that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, do let us know your reasons, but we'll kick off with the first recipe.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, tofu tikka curry is our first recipe. It is utterly delicious. You know, children just love a very kind of simple, mild, rich curry sauce. And then yeah, we've got the tofu that we marinate in yogurt, and we roast it in the oven, and it really transforms the texture. So yeah, tofu tikka curry. So I kept this chunk of tofu in its packet just to show you, for those that aren't familiar with how it comes. So it's in its packet, and it's got liquid, the water around it, which stops it from drying out and keeps it fresh. You know, tofu is a fresh ingredient. The firm tofu that I'm using here, and it comes in, it keeps refrigerated. And yeah, it has a shelf life kind of roughly a month. So I'm just opening the packet up. I'm just going to tip the liquid down the sink. Just use my scissors. I would recommend having some scissors just to open it up. Okay. And I'm just going to shake up all the liquid. All the liquid came out, and you see it's kind of dripping. And what I'm going to do is take a piece of kitchen paper, over that nicely, and then we're going to press. You can see that, yeah, press down and just remove as much of the liquid as possible, which just basically means that you're going to get a really nice texture on the tofu when you come to cook it. Here we go. So you can see it's a completely plain white block. And so the main thing, my biggest tip to pass on when cooking with tofu is think of it as a completely blank canvas, and that's actually really amazing because you've got so many possibilities with it, because it is just yeah, very blank in its natural form. And the process that we bring in as the cooks and as the caterers is about introducing flavor into it. And in each of the recipes today, we're going to be bringing in different different palette of flavors. And so you just treat this as a blank canvas. And then the other incredible thing about it too is the versatility of texture, which again we'll show you with the different recipes. So for this, start the tofu tikka curry, I'm going to cut it up into chunks, and this is generally, I would say, probably for most of you, maybe how you might recognize seeing tofu in a dish, like if it's in a stir fry or a stew or a soup or something like that, like a kind of Asian soup. So I'm just going to cut it up into nice big chunks. And I guess thinking about this dish as well, something that you might be familiar with is kind of like this exact same process, but with chicken or with paneer, like an Indian kind of tikka style marinated the protein part, and then like a lovely rich sauce with it. So we're just doing exactly the same. We're treating it exactly the same way that we would those ingredients. So I'm just going to cut it into nice big pieces. And it's really like lovely to work with. It's very kind of clean and smooth, and you can just kind of decide what size pieces you want. So that goes into my bowl, and now I'm going to add the marinade to it. And so we're going to do a yogurt marinade. And so I've got some soy yogurt here, and then I've got my spice plate, which is going to be the main flavors that we're getting in. So I've got garam masala, cumin, and smoked paprika. And I think smoked paprika is just such a brilliant one for children, particularly because it is it's mild, but it's like rich and smoky.
Looking lovely already.
Yeah, it's so, honestly, it's just such a lovely one. It smells so good. Like, it smells really good. So we'll tip the spices in. Okay, and then I'm going to put in a little half teaspoon of salt. Just again, it needs the seasoning. It needs just a little bit, just to kind of bring all those spices and the yogurt to life. And then I'm going to go zest of a lemon. So really fresh. Like, it's so lovely bringing in these fresh ingredients, lemon zest, which again is like just really making your ingredients work for you, bringing in a lot of flavor with the zest that usually often sadly gets discarded. It just takes a little bit of time to just to prepare and add that. Okay, and then some fresh lemon juice as well, again bringing in just lovely vitamins and zinc. And squeeze that in. Delicious juicy lemons. And the other one. And so, as I said, like a really important step with dealing with tofu is the marinating part. And in this recipe, we have suggested, kind of a minimum of an hour. I would say that with all of the recipes, but it can go on much longer. So with a dish like this, I would be doing this the day before and leaving it to marinate overnight, and the tofu will just have lots of time to absorb all that flavor. And then the other thing that the marinating does, especially with an ingredient like yogurt, is it really kind of changes the texture of the ingredients of the tofu as well. So this has the effect of making it kind of really creamy and mild and soft and squidgy. And so it's really brilliant. So it's all lovely, covered in the marinade, all of the pieces. And like I said, I would leave that to sit for at least an hour, but ideally do it overnight, let the magic happen in the fridge, and then you can just come in and do the next roasting part the next day just before lunchtime. So I'm gonna because of the way I'm doing this demo, I'm just gonna put this straight onto the tray now. It's not gonna have its full marinade, but I've explained about why you would do that. So I've got my oven tray, I've got a little bit of greaseproof paper in, because I've got the oven at a really hot temperature, like 220 degrees. It's going to go in for 15-20 minutes and really kind of roast. You want to get like that lovely kind of charring around the edges of the tofu pieces. And then, even though it looks like there's quite a lot of yogurt excess perhaps in there, that all kind of adds into the curry and kind of dries out as well, and yeah, it's just another really nice texture. So here we go, and get all of the marinade.
Just a reminder for everybody that all of our recipes, when this recipe comes out, they're all for 10 primary school portions. So yeah.
So just spreading it out. As I said, there is a lot of yogurt there, but that's completely okay, because that will bake as well, and just, yeah, is a really nice texture. So that's that ready to go. I'm going to pop that into the oven. Okay. And while that's cooking, I'm going to start the curry sauce. So I've got my pan here on the hob, and this is just, turn it on, a really simple, delicious, mainly tomato-based sauce. But we're bringing in a couple of other vegetables as well. And definitely for me, cooking at home for my children, but also cooking professionally, you know, you're always thinking about the different vegetables that you're using and what job you want them to do in the meal. So in this case, in this sauce, like, I'm thinking we just want a really lovely silky sauce to go with the tofu, and so I want my vegetables to be quite subtly in there. So I'm gonna use courgette, and I've actually even got a yellow courgette, and I have made it with green, and it also is totally fine. I thought I would just use this one today. Again, just thinking about the colour, like, I think that will work really nicely in the sauce. And I've got butternut squash as well, which is pre-roasted, and that's like lovely, sweet, and yeah, children really, really love it.
And nice sunshiny colours for this time of year when it's starting to get a bit grey.
Yeah, it always, that is like this kind of autumn, isn't it? You get all of this colourful produce, particularly even when you maybe don't expect it. So it's really nice to use these ingredients. So really simple, oil on. I've chopped my onions already. I thought I would just do that so that my eyes weren't streaming while I was talking to you. So they're sizzling away.
Just to give you a time check, Polly, you're doing fine, but it's so it's 3:25.
Yeah, okay, great.
I think you're good.
Good so far. So
good so far.
I'm going to chop my courgette up, and because I'm going to, the idea with this sauce is that I'm going to blitz it at the end, so I'm not going to think too much about the shape, just fairly small so that it cooks quite quickly. If I had a Robocoupe, I would be just putting it through on the grater setting just so that it was really, really quick. And same with the butternut squash, I pre-roasted it just so I could scoop the filling out. It's a great vegetable, but it can sometimes be quite tough to work with. So by roasting it, it's just soft and scoopable, which is good. Okay, so onions on, and then the basis of a good curry, a little bit of ginger. I've got ginger paste here going in, and again, just amazing to use fresh ginger, thinking about the kind of nutritional and kind of almost medicinal effects that has in a dish. Ginger and tomato paste. Let's give that there. That's there. Smells so good. Like, I have to say, doing the online workshop, it is such a shame that it can't translate. The smell can't translate, and the taste can't. Like, I've just got it in here, and it is so good, and it's just part of the experience, isn't it?
I think when we do the in-person workshops, that's the thing that everybody always comments on, is how good it smells, and of course how good it tastes. But the smell hits you first.
Just trust me, and you could, if you feel very inspired, you could have this for dinner tonight because it's so quick and easy to make. So I'm going with the same spices as that we marinated the tofu. So 2 teaspoons of garam masala, 2 of cumin, and 2 of paprika. And then, just mix that all together. I'm going to bring it forward so you can see just a lovely spicy paste, looking very kind of traditional, kind of curry-esque. So I've got those going, and the frying process just kind of awakens up all of the spices and gets the flavors going. Then, boom, just in with all my vegetables, in with all my courgette. And I'm just going to scoop out some of the vegetables, the squash. But yeah, I'd be really interested to know as well, any of your tips, things that you kind of put in sauces that maybe the children aren't aware of, but that have that opportunity to, kind of increase the nutrition, change the flavor of the dish. Like when we were at one of the online in-person workshops, the catering staff were telling me they put apple sauce in a lot of dishes, savoury dishes, which was really lovely to hear. Again, you just to sweeten it, and
if anybody has tips, do share them.
Okay, so that's all the vegetables in, and then. Oh, did I just see butternut squash gravy?
Oh, butternut squash gravy. Oh, that sounds good.
Would like to hear more about that. It sounds delicious. Okay, that's 2 tins of chopped tomatoes going in. Then I'm just going to fill these up with water. 1.
You are a speedy chef.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, it's really nice to be kind of back in the kitchen doing this. So yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. Okay, so that is on. Lid is going on. And now that's just going to kind of cook away. It could be 15-20 minutes. You could leave it cook for an hour. It's just one of those dishes that the sauce will thicken. And then just as long as your vegetables are cooked through, it will be. It either way will work. Okay, so that's just going to do its thing. Right, the next dish I'm really excited about, because next one I'm gonna look at is the egg mayo style roll. So yeah, this is a dish that I hadn't had tofu in this way before, personally, and was really impressed with like the texture and the flavor that we were able to add in. So it's a cold filling, basically, that we're going to prepare, and it's something that we get asked for quite a lot from catering staff, looking for plant-based kind of options on cold meals as sandwich fillings, or to serve as baked potatoes or in wraps. So here we go. I'm going to just, next block of tofu, pop it on the board.
About to be transformed.
About to be transformed into egg mayo style filling. Um, the
I mean, the photograph just looks like egg mayonnaise to me.
mm,
It looks good. This is a favorite of mine in our house anyway.
it's so good. Like, as I said, I haven't
It's
had
great.
it before. Okay, so I'm gonna start with yeah, in my bowl. I've just got some plant-based mayonnaise. I'm going to pop in, it's a recipe 60 grams. And then I'm going to basically add loads and loads of flavour into this, into the mayonnaise. So I've got our nutritional yeast, which adds a really, really gorgeous cheesy flavour and also really increases the nutrition of the dish. So I'm adding, no, I'm not adding teaspoons, I'm adding tablespoons of this. 1, 2. And then, yeah, this incredible ingredient that I haven't come across before, the black salt, kalanama, which is bring clothes. So it's traditionally kind of used in Ayurvedic cooking. And this brings in the most incredible smoky and kind of eggy taste into the dish. And so this is a real secret ingredient, but I would also add that it's not overpowering at all. It's just makes it really, really tasty. So that's 1/4 teaspoon of that, and a little bit of turmeric, which turmeric is just one of my favorite spices to use.
So good for you, really anti-inflammatory.
And I just the color factor as well. So it's going to be a lovely bright filling. And then we have a little bit of black pepper, a little touch of mustard, and again lemon, fresh lemon. So just thinking about ways just to make this mayonnaise kind of as tasty the sauce, you know, as possible, that's going to coat the tofu. And honestly, this packs such a flavour. And again, my children really enjoyed it as well, just because it's so flavoursome. And then I've got a little bunch of fresh chives here, which it's optional to put in or not. But again, yeah, I think it's really nice to have the fresh herbs in there. That could work with parsley as well. So in that goes.
With the kala namak, I'm guessing most school caterers won't have this. This is the Indian black salt, and you can do it without, but that is the thing that gives it the real eggy flavour, the sort of sulphur taste. So if you can get it, try it, and a little goes a very long way. So it will last you forever, pretty much. But it will blow your mind how like egg this is.
It really, like, honestly, like this smells like egg mayonnaise, like right now. And yeah, just like you said, Colette, that like I got my bag of salt just from like the Asian supermarket, and I was, you know, obviously a bag would last you probably a whole school year, more. So yeah, it's something you can pick up kind of fairly easily. Now back to the tofu, I'm going to show you like a different technique now. Instead of, you know, we did the slice before, but here I'm going for a crumble. So it has this amazing ability. You can just put it between your fingers and thumbs, or use a fork to mash it. And I don't know how well you can see that, but
yeah, it's great. It's kind of cottage cheesy or something.
And you can break it down. I mean, I quite like it quite fine, but you know, you can leave kind of bigger chunks as well.
It's really quick to work with as well. That's what I love about tofu. It's not. I mean, it's a little bit messy when you're doing this, but it's quick.
It really is. Okay, just gonna mix that up. And again, I mean, it's just that texture, that sound. It's just a perfect cold filling. And then, yeah, just going to demonstrate this. It's got a lovely wholemeal roll, just pop some in.
Who would not know that that's not egg mayonnaise?
And it's just so nice to have something different. I think we see hummus, you know, so much, and people just really wanting to get, you know, just to have some variety. Some cucumber, a little bit of lettuce, and then yeah, that's a lovely, really nutritious alternative sandwich filling.
And obviously you haven't cooked the tofu here, Polly, have you? Because it's already, you can eat tofu as it is. It's already cooked. Yeah, so you can heat it or have it straight out the packet.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. It didn't need to be cooked. It can just be used from raw. So there, and I also did it with a baked potato. Again, just really nice, creamy baked potato filling, and then peppers and cucumbers on the side. So that's delicious. There. Right, I'm going to just come back to the curry. So in the oven. One I have to confess, this is one I prepared earlier, just with the tofu tikka. So this has had about 15-20 minutes, and then it's really kind of dried out and got really nice brown color to it. Again, you know, the yogurt has changed texture as well. So that's my tofu tikka pieces ready to go into the curry sauce. So pop that there. My curry is cooking away. I'm going to just blitz that now. Okay, yeah. I'm just going to blitz for a second. Gonna just stop there. I'm gonna leave a few chunks of the kind of courgette in it as well. It's gonna take me another few minutes to get a really, really smooth consistency. It's so to have that time now, but that is ordinarily what I would do, is try to get it super smooth. But yes, I've got plated up here some brown rice, and then this delicious fresh curry sauce with the courgette and squash in it, the tomatoes and the spices. Really, really lovely little courgette chunk there. And then I would serve the kind of tikka pieces on top. So, a little bit of a little bit of coriander, which is just always really nice. And then I've got some inspired by our school plates, from School Plates 1, one of my favourite salads ever, the crunchy pea and bean salad. Really, really simple, and it's such a nice colour to go against. So I've just got green beans, peas, some chopped spinach, and then it has a lovely mint sauce dressing. And that's just like a really nice side dish to go, gongs of the balls, to go together. So that
looks fabulous.
Curry, really, really yum, delicious. Okay.
Wonderful. We're on 18 minutes remaining, just so you know.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to the taco recipe next. So we're doing the shredded tofu, served in a crispy taco with refried beans. Let me get my tofu.
So you've got the nutrition up here on the screen on all of these slides, but just to say that tofu is one of the highest protein sources of plant-based protein you can get. I think there's only seitan, which is higher. So it's a great source of protein. It's also a great source of iron and calcium. It's really super nutritious, and not considered to be a processed food. So it's a great option.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing. So with this recipe, so I'm going to make a taco filling made from the tofu. I'm going to grate the tofu, which again is not a way that I'd had it before, but I think it's just so fantastic. And so we're basically gonna grate it, season it, marinate it again, and then almost kind of cook it quite lightly, like stir fry it, and that's going to be our taco filling. It's going to be cooked up with some peppers and onions, and I think what I loved about when I had it with the grated texture, it's just that, like, I loved the way, like, the onions and peppers and everything just like mixed through the tofu pieces. It's so nice. I would definitely do that. I think it would work for lots of kinds of fillings. So that's it grated, kind of, looks a little bit cheese-like, but just really soft.
Again, it's so quick to grate, isn't it? It's just like you do that in 2 seconds.
It is, and it is so satisfying.
It's really satisfying.
Right, let me see. Okay, so I've got my tofu, and then spices going in again, similar to the curry, but we've got ground coriander, ground cumin, and the smoked paprika again. So I'm just going to tip that in, and then I'm going to add some sweetness. Oh my God, that's it. Yeah, so a spoonful of tomato ketchup, which just is a really good way to get like a lovely sweetness, sweet taste in there. Tomato ketchup, the agave nectar, which is again a lovely, like, natural alternate sweetener. So because we're kind of thinking, the texture of this is going to be kind of sweet, sticky, spicy filling. And then a little bit of tomato puree as well. And I'm just going to give this a quick mix. But again, I would leave this to marinate. I would leave it extend for a good hour. And again, as I said, with the curry overnight. So just lovely, smells great, coating all over the tofu. Pop that to the side, and now I'm going for the frying pan for, like I said, a kind of stir fry, very fast. That's going on.
I think grating it would be such a good way for school caterers, because you can literally put it in like a cottage pie or in a pasta dish or pretty much anything you're making. This can go in where you might use mince. Just throw in some grated tofu or mix it up with something else.
It's so good. Like I said, my children, they really enjoyed this one as well. And they didn't, to be honest, like when they ate it, it wasn't like I was trying to, trick them or anything, but they didn't even really know. It was just such a nice filling inside the taco. So, they just kind of munched it down without even asking, they just enjoyed it. So that's great. Okay, so I'm just going to chop up pepper, and I'm going to just try and keep the pieces fairly small, because I'm just thinking I want them to kind of fit inside the taco. And so, it's just that thing, thinking about what vegetable you're using, what's it for, what do you want it to be hidden? Do you want it to be, something fun? Do you want it to be bite size? All of these things I think are so important when preparing vegetables for children, so that they have like the best experience with them when they they get it, you know, that it's not just a forgotten about or thrown in, and it's not in the right, it's not being used in the right way in the dish. So yeah, just cutting this up small quickly. Okay, so that's on my onions here. Turn that up.
I was just going to say on cost, because sometimes we get asked about cost of tofu and that it can be expensive. So we've checked it today, and it's cheaper than corn mince, and it's cheaper than chicken thighs. And at the moment, if you buy from Breaks, this is not a promotion for Breaks, by the way, this is just information that we were checking. It's actually on offer during until the end of October. So it's actually less than £5 a kilo. So it's about half price of what it normally would be. So it's a really good time to try it if you haven't already. But it's really, it's coming in as good value compared to some other ingredients you might use. So I just wanted to make that point. If anybody has any specific questions, we have got James from the Tofu Company who's on the webinar too. So feel free to ask questions in the chat, and he can give us his expert opinion as the tofu expert.
Yeah,
there are other tofu brands available, everybody. I'm not promoting them, although it is a very good product.
Yeah,
Sorry,
really, yeah, it really is. So I'm just gonna let this kind of stir fry, and then I'm gonna quickly make the bean refried bean filling that's gonna go on the side. So here I've got delicious pinto beans, which are kind of traditionally used in Mexican cookery, and they're lovely, again, a protein source, an iron source, and they're just really creamy. I really love about them. Can you hear me okay with that?
Yeah, we can hear you.
A little bit of olive oil, cumin, lime juice. Lovely, I love this pudding. I love lime so much. Again, it's so different to lemon. It really brings in a different kind of quality.
I can almost smell it.
Yeah, oh, it's zingy. It's gonna, and it goes with the Mexican kind of flavors. And then I've just added a little bit of water in as well, just to loosen it. And I'm just gonna twist it. Just bear with me. That's a really good texture. I love it. It's pretty.
It's so quick.
Yeah, really, really quick. So that's my bean filling. My tacos, I'm gonna just give them another kind of minute to cook. I know that we've not got loads of time there, but just gonna let that cook a little bit more. And while that, just give that a couple of minutes, I'm gonna do the chocolate part dessert.
Wonderful.
So this is with the silken tofu.
Who would have thought of a dessert with tofu?
I know, that's tofu. It's good for, you can use it for everything.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. So, and this is lovely. This is again just really nice. Like so often on menus, it can be a bought-in kind of quite like processed dessert in a pot or something. But this is really nice to think that you can make your own fresh, and that it's not got any other ingredients in it. And the tofu here, the silken tofu, just makes like such a delicious creamy moussey texture. So I've got the silken tofu, and this is the fastest dessert ever. So silken tofu, cocoa powder, which again is just really good for you. And then maple syrup or agave nectar just to sweeten it. So I just do a couple of spoons, and that is it. Going into the kind of chocolate mousse. I'm just gonna work the magic blender again. Just transfer. Amazing. Okay, so I've got this silky chocolate mousse. And now this can just be served with any fruits really. I've done it with strawberries, bananas, raspberries. Today I'm going to do it with orange, fresh orange, that lovely chocolate orange zingy combination.
I've got just over 6 minutes, Polly, just so
Perfect.
I think you're good though.
I think we're good, yeah. So slice the orange up. And now you could set this in like a big gastro tray style dessert, or go for the individual pots or kind of glasses or containers. So I'm just going to pop in the bottom some lovely fresh orange. Okay, and then a lovely spoonful of this creamy chocolate mousse on top. Yeah, and this was my children's favorite. Like, of course, it was my children's favorite.
No surprises.
They love it. So you then can set that in the fridge for a couple of hours, and the texture of the tofu will change, and then serve it however you want. I really like to put a little bit of crunch on top. We've got some cornflakes for the crunch to go on top,
nice.
Just to give it that really nice texture. So there we go. That is our amazing super fast dessert.
That is super fast.
And I'm just going to say, would we just do should we go to the final poll questions, and I'll just play up the taco.
Perfect. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you. So has the workshop changed your mind about tofu? And could you see yourself introducing tofu onto your menu? This is the crux of it all. We wait on tenterhooks for the answers. Have you convinced them, Polly?
I feel the pressure. I hope so. I really hope people will give it a go.
Okay, has it changed your mind? 100% yes.
Yay!
Could you see yourself introducing tofu? 67% yes and 33% maybe, but no no's. So that's a good start. Really good.
Hey,
yes.
Amazing, guys. I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased.
And then we've just got another quick poll, which is which of the recipes would you try? And you can tick as many of those if you try all of them, or have you got a couple of favorites? We're just interested to know what you think of the recipes. We're good. We've got 3 and a bit minutes, so we're okay. Just to flag that we've got the link in the chat to the next webinar, which is on the 18th of October. It's 4 weeks today, same time, same place. Do sign up if you haven't already. Yeah, wow, this looks good. Who doesn't love a crunchy taco? Okay, so which of the recipes? Oh gosh, tofu tikka curry, shredded tofu tacos, and the egg mayo all got 83% and 50% on the chocolate orange pot. So neck and neck, I would say.
Great.
Brilliant.
Amazing. Well, that is a result.
That is good.
For a Wednesday afternoon, that is a
not
really
bad.
Great result. So here are all our final dishes. This is the tacos. I've got my taco shell. I just put some of the beans on the plate, and then just a little side dish, some sweet potato wedges, sweet corn and tomato, just a nice kind of Mexican
lovely
tasting plate. And then here we've got our lovely filling, which then I will just scoop inside, and it will all fit because it's grated, and the peppers are nice size and the onions are nice size.
Wonderful.
Just like that. There we go. And that's the, or let me lift it up.
Amazing. That has got colour, texture,
Yeah.
flavours. It looks amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, from our four balls, our four blocks, here we are with this amazing, colourful, really nutritious, healthy spread, all from tofu. So, yeah, that is really, really glad that it's inspired you all today, and to think about it working on school menus, because we think that it is, an amazing ingredient, that we would like to see more.
Incredible job, Polly. Well done. It looks good. Good luck with the washing up. And yeah, hope you've all enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And do send us an email if you've got any other comments or questions that you haven't shared today. If not, we'll see you on the 18th of October. Thanks very much.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.